Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Only Leeds Bros. Hope everybody is keeping and doing well, and thanks very much for joining us on this fine Friday evening. It is very, very warm out there, guys. Very warm day today. Cracking weekend ahead of us. And not much to talk about Leeds United boys again, Dylan. It's gone very quiet on the front, but we've a bit to bring you in this video. We're going to speak a little bit about Stach and Longstaff. As always, get your thoughts in the comments. Very important that you get your thoughts in, guys, and letting us know. We're going to speak about Anton Stach. And then we're also going to talk about very, very loose links about Kalvin Phillips as well. And then again, another little bit about Jack Harrison. So please do make sure you're slapping a like on the video. And of course, hitting subscribe to the channel. Hope you like the new graphics as well. Trying to do a little bit of upgrade here on Only Leeds Bros. A little bit of upgrading on the brands. I hope you do enjoy it. To the right hand side there, we'll have player profiles and all that coming up as well. So I hope you do enjoy it. But before we do get into the video, Dillo, what's happening?
It's a warm one. It's a very, very warm one. You know, at one stage today, I thought, you know, if you had to slap me on a barbecue, it would have tasted all right, if you know what I'm trying to say. But other than that, yeah, it was very warm, very dehydrated day. And then other than that, big happy birthday to you tomorrow, huh? What are we, 45?
31.
Oh.
31 tomorrow, yeah. 31 years of age tomorrow, yeah.
I love it.
It's mad, like, the older you get that you just, like, even forget. Like, it was... Obviously today, like, well, this morning I was going to work and I was like, oh, like, you want to do anything for your birthday tomorrow? I was like, what? You just completely forget like that. It's just the older you get, especially when you have kids and all that as well. And birthdays come a little bit irrelevant. But you see, yeah, got the new training tee and got the yellow strongbow top, the new home jersey, and then
very nice.
The jump on one of this as well. So absolutely spoiled rotten by the wife and kids. So yeah, absolutely delighted.
Very good. Jody, you taking notes here now, just so you... No, I'm only messing with you. Yeah, but you know you're getting old when you drop your phone, you know, when you're sitting on the side of the bed, or actually just a chair, and you go to bend down to pick it up and you get a cramp. That's when you know. I know I'm only 27, even though I look 47. But other than that, you know, we keep it moving on. But anyway, like, thanks everyone for tuning in. As Darren said there, it's great to see 34 people in the building. So, yeah, big shout out to all yous.
Well, let's say hello to everyone, Dylan, because there's a good few in the chat, guys. As always, get your thoughts in. Amy Clark says, evening, lads. Evening, Amy. Danny Talks Leeds is here. As always, says smash a like and subscribe. Please do so. That would be fantastic. Evening, you pair of Irish legends. And chat says the Welsh Wizard Jam. Russ is here as well. Says evening, Darrow Dylan. Big up, Russ. Hope you're keeping well, pal. Marching on with Sean, make sure you go check them out, guys, and Danny Talk Sport as well. Both of them guys have their own YouTube channels. Make sure you're going across there and spreading the love. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Darren. Cheers, appreciate it, buddy. Really do appreciate it. Getting old, pushing on now. Sid is here. Hope you're keeping well, Sid. Haven't chatted to you in a while, pal. Evening, gents. Hope you're well. Underwhelming window so far. We will get into it because I know there's a bit of frustration going around the Leeds fan base at the minute. So, as always, guys, make sure you're getting your thoughts in. Are you a little bit worried about the way the window's going? Are you relaxed? Because it seems to be both sides of the fence, and you're either pulling your hair out, what's going on, or either very much laid back and saying, we have all this in hand. Ken is in the building as well. Says, evening, lads. Evening, Ken. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Spending your Friday evening with us. And Smarty is here as well. Says, evening, my fellow peacocks. Evening, Smarty. Thanks for popping in, buddy.
Hope you're out training, Smarty.
Looking forward to seeing you now next Sunday for the Leeds Creator Cup, guys. All your favourite Leeds content creators take to the field in aid of Prostate Cancer UK. Tickets are only £7 for adults and £3 for kids. The link is in the description below as well, guys. Or if you can't make it on the day, you can't donate as well. It's all for a great cause. Hopefully the weather isn't going to be as warm as it is today, because I'll absolutely die on that football pitch. Michael is here as well. Says, evening, Darren and Dylan. Evening, Michael. Thanks for popping in, pal. Not 50 just yet. Feel it. Jamie is here as well. Hope you're keeping well, Jamie. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Loads in the building, loads of people here. Can't go through you all. Jamie's here, Smarty's here, Top Banana's here, marching on with Sean, Russ, and everybody else. Paul is here as well. Says happy birthday, Daz. Thanks very much for that, guys. Right, lads, let's dive straight into it. The first one we have to speak about, and it's probably the main one, Dylan, at the minute. It is Stach and Longstaff. The third bid, the latest on him at the minute is the third bid was obviously rejected. It was 10 million plus 2 million add-ons, Dylan. There's rumours going on again that Leeds United are going to go back in for a fourth bid for him. It's not said how much and what Newcastle are looking for, but it's said that the structure of the deal, that Newcastle aren't particularly happy with it. Personal terms are meant to be agreed with the player. He's happy to come to Leeds, but he's not going to force his move away from Newcastle. Why would you? Boyhood club, so fair play to him in that. But this one seems to be rumbling on a bit, Dylan. Are we going to get it done, or is this going to be one that's going to fall by the wayside?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I think, you know, if they said no twice, kind of leave it at that. Yeah, I love it. That's exactly the way I'd be as well, Smarty, 100%. Yeah, sorry guys, yeah, just threw off there. I just seen beer, just blanked my mind. Yeah, look, it's an underwhelming sign. Sean Longstaff, he's a quality player. He doesn't give up. He gives 110% every single time. Every time I've seen him play.
Yeah.
But it's getting to the point now where it's getting messy, and you know they're just choking in money. No, I'm not necessarily saying, you know, they're just getting desperate, but they definitely see something and potential in him. I'm not saying we wouldn't go for it, but I just think it's getting to the point now where they're just chucking money in for the crack. Just walk away. You know, they clearly want big money from. A fourth bid, no. I'm going to say no now, if I'm being honest with you. I just think, why are you going? You went in 3 times already. They clearly have a value and a set, you know, bid for him. Clearly, like, you know, they're just, Leeds are trying to get him on the cheap. They're not going to let him go, clearly. So
it seemed like it was nearly done. Then it seems like it's very close, and kind of terms of agreeing. And the last minute, Newcastle changed their mind, and there's nothing really out there concrete to turn around and say that it was either, you know, the repayment, you know, whether it's going to be spread across his contract, whether it's going to be up front, whether they wanted a little bit more money, exactly what it was. But it is supposedly Newcastle weren't happy with the fee and that, but the player is happy to come to Leeds. So it's one of them, Dylan, isn't it? It's clearly Newcastle want to offload him. The player probably knows he needs a fresh start in his career because he only played 8 times for Newcastle last season. And I think come to Leeds, like we spoke about this, Dylan, like it isn't the flashiest signing, is it? When you hear Sean Longstaff, everyone's like, oh, it's a little bit kind of underwhelming. But the type of player he is and where Leeds are at the minute, I do think he'd be very good in this Leeds team because he brings the Premier League experience, he brings Champions League experience. As you said, box to box, hard work, and maybe the quality isn't so much there at times. So for me, it's one of them where I'd like to see it get done, but it's rumbling.
Just getting messy. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting to the point now. No disrespect to Sean Longstaff. I think he is a quality player. As I said, he gives 110% from what I've seen. But like, if they're not willing to play ball, move on, lads. You have to have some other people lined up for kind of similar money that you were willing to pay for Longstaff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just getting messy now. You know, why are we going in again for the 4th bid? Just move on.
Yeah. Michael Goss says here, a friend of mine is a Newcastle fan, said to me that how in Newcastle don't want to let anybody go. And I can understand that, Michael. Obviously, you know, with them, you know, they're obviously wanting to push for that top 4 place. They want to push in the Champions League as well. You need a big squad for that as well. There's obviously talks about Nick Pope staying there to push James Trafford if that deal goes through as well. So you can understand from the Newcastle side of it that they probably do want to hang on to Sean Longstaff because he's definitely a good utility player, you know, to kind of bring on a rotation player to kind of bring on as well. But for the player, Dylan, he probably needs that, you know, that freshening up. And look at, by all means, like he wants to come to Leeds as well. But it's obviously the question is, and it's the question to you guys in the chat as well, like how much is enough for Sean Longstaff? Like for me, you know, the 10 million plus 2 million add-ons, I would have said that's probably bang on the money where it is. It's obviously there. I checked on Transfer Market and it says that his market value is 17 million. I don't think it's that high for Sean Longstaff, Dylan, do you?
No, definitely not. 110%. Like, obviously, we're going to move on to some other players as well. I've seen in the region of 17 million. I'd be a bit more inclined to go with. But, you know, considering, I maybe just me, I just get mad at, you know, when people say no. And they've said no, and we went back in another 2 times since then. And now there's rumors saying they're going to go back in with a 4th bid. Just, if you desperately want them, and I'm not saying I don't want them, put the money that what they're looking for. Which, let's be honest, I'd say is 15. Probably max 16 on a push. But even at that, it is just a bit underwhelming. But, you know, I think he'll get this club if he did join. And I think he would give 110%. He loves the tackle as well. We've all seen that. Gives 110%. As you said, he's box to box. Could do good things at Leeds if he did come.
Smarty has a good one here. He says, I get the feeling Newcastle might be trying their luck and trying to get every drop out of the deal. Don't want to be seen a going in bid after bid, though, might give other clubs ideas, and that's exactly it, Smarty, isn't it? You kind of open up your hand then, don't you? And you kind of show your hand to other clubs as well when you know, obviously Leeds going with an initial deal, it's rejected. Like, they're going to come back again if they really want this player as well. So it is the question now, Dylan, like, when's enough? When do we move on to other targets? Like, we're going to talk about Anton Stach as well, but I'm sure the 49ers have a list of players who they're looking at and a list of targets. But when did Leeds turn around and go, right, this deal has gone far enough, we need to move on? Because it seems to be that things are after going quiet, things are after slowing up a little bit. So is it at that stage now where Leeds just say, right, we're not going to go in with a fourth bid, we're going to move on to other targets?
That's what I would do. Personally, that's what I would do. I just think the fourth bid is unnecessary. From the first bid, fair enough, you got in with the second one. They've said no. Then you went in with the third one. They said no again. It's just a bit messy, like, in my eyes. If I'm being just that's really all I can say about it. It's getting to that kind of point now where it's like, right, well, if our money isn't good enough, we'll go elsewhere. You know, and in the back of my mind, I'm not saying we need it, but like, maybe you can't get a player similar to Tanaka on that kind of price range with maybe a bit more, fair enough, not Premier League experience, but a bit younger and a bit more sharper.
Yeah. Jam has a very good one here as well, Dylan, and it obviously comes down to PSR as well. So Longstaff is part of the homegrown quota. They will squeeze every penny for pure profit, and that's it as well, Dylan. Like, they'll be looking at this as well the same way we're going to look at Mateo Joseph, obviously looking at homegrown, but from the PSR point of view, and Newcastle, one of them, have kind of been working within them restraints of PSR. So they will be looking at this, you know, kind of thinking, right, if they have their eye on a player, you know, that's X amount of money that they value at, if they think, right, if we can get 15 million off Leeds for Sean Longstaff, we might push the boat a little bit with them and, you know, see if we can get, you know, the 13 million plus, you know, 2 million add-on. So that's probably where they're at the minute. It feels like a little bit, it's kind of stalled a little bit. And, you know, for me, it's like, is the juice worth the squeeze with this? Is it worth, you know, keep going back in bid after bid for this player? When I seen this kind of coming up when we went in with a bid and player agreed the terms, I thought it was going to get done more or less very quick and we'll turn it around and he'd be in the door. But it's one of them that just, it's rumbling on a little bit too long for me at the minute.
I think with the second one, if they had said no, I think they should have washed their hands with it. Look, fair enough, they wanted to go in for the third, but now, like, just leave it, like, move on. I know, Jam has a great point there, I get that, but there's other players that you know, probably on the cheap as well, you know, and to be fair, I think there's just maybe a little bit more better quality out there.
Yeah. Let's get into a couple of the comments anyway as well, Dylan. That was the one from Jam. 10 plus 2 million plus Bamford. I don't know about Bamford. Bamford seems to be, he's in the zone, Dylan, isn't he? He's definitely been marking the gym over. He's
huge, I tell you that.
Absolutely. He's gone pure beast mode is Patrick Bamford, but let's see if his body can hold up. I'm not too sure, but let's see what happens there with that one. Is it just money or the other club clauses that's causing a sticking point? Well, I haven't heard that about other clauses. From what I've heard, Michael, it's the Newcastle side that they're not happy with the money side, whether it's the structure of it, the amount, the payment terms, or if they want it up front, or like what Jam said, the PSR. I haven't heard anything about clauses. It just seems to be pure money from the Newcastle side. As I said, player terms look like they're all but agreed, so we'll just have to see how it develops. Question is, was there a first off if our third offer was 10 plus 2? And that's it. Like, they were saying we're going in. Like, I didn't hear a first and second bid, but there's obviously murmurs out there that Leeds going in for a fourth. So initially, what was the first bid, Dylan? There's been no amount.
It must have been something like mad. And then fair enough, the second one they kind of played ball and realised Newcastle weren't. Went with the third, hoping to get it done. Now it hasn't, and now they're just, in my eyes. Now, look, I could be spoofing here, but Leeds are obviously kind of like getting desperate now, which that doesn't look good to me on my behalf. That's the point that I'm trying to make. I didn't really want to say it, but that is the truth. It just doesn't look good when you see your club going in for a fourth, getting to the point now where, like, we don't want to pay this much. We're trying to get it on cheap, which, don't get me wrong, is the right way for your club to do business in the sense of trying to get players cheaper than what they're worth. But I mean, 4 bids doesn't seem too good, does it? It's just getting desperate.
All boxed up says, I always said to people, just let the 49ers do their thing. However frustrated fans get, deals will be done. And I think that's where I'm at the minute. I'm not panicking too much as, you know, we all want a shiny new toy. We all want the players coming in the door. It's one of them where we kind of have to be patient, Dylan, don't we? A little bit with this one and kind of see how it goes. But as I said, like our first pre-season game last year, Dylan, like that team that was put out was absolutely atrocious, was absolutely horrendous. So there still is a long way to go. I can understand the frustration from a section of the fan base where, you know, we need what Farke turned around and said that he wanted his players, the bulk of his players in before the 8th of July. Obviously, we were at the 11th now and there's 4 signings in. But if you look where Leeds are at compared to other clubs in the Premier League, you know, we're in and amongst it, you know, 4 players in the door. Are they overwhelming signings at the minute? No, absolutely they're not. But I think we just have to trust the process in the 49ers. They've said that they're going to throw money in. They said that they'll spend every last penny to make the squad ready for the Premier League. So I think it's just one of them. It's patience. It's patience, isn't it?
Exactly. That's basically what we're down to. And I 100% back to 49ers for this. You just can bookmark it the whole lot and laugh at me at the start of the season. But no, I think they've done, wouldn't say 100% job, but they've definitely got things moving under the circumstances of previous owners and previous transfer windows. But you know, they've came out when we bought Nichman, is it, striker, and said that he hasn't been, you know, he's not going to be our top number 9. So you know, we still have a lot of players to still get in the store. My kind of maybe childish way of thinking about it is I just want people in the door before pre-season starts to get them completely up to scratch, because you don't want them sitting on the bench similar to the Isaac Schmidt situation last season. And then my own personal is when they come to the Aviva, I just want to see everyone in the door so we can get a look at each individual.
But that, Dylan, we have to be, because that's obviously the last pre-season game with Villarreal the week before the AC Milan game in Dublin. The AC Milan game in Dublin is the last game before the Premier League kicks off the following week. So you want the bulk of your squad ready to go, don't you? Look, obviously you can still make a couple after, but you want to be going into that first game of the season with your core team, Dylan, don't you? And not kind of still scrambling then.
Right to go. We don't want to be waiting until January or late signings coming in the door. It doesn't work. We've seen that doesn't work. And then under the Farke's track record at the start of a season, you know, he kind of doesn't look too good, is what I'm trying to say. So we need to be completely at it from the word go till the end of the season. There's no messing about and getting people in, chemistry, getting people to know each other, you know, bit of laugh, team morale, as you would say. Just getting players in for me. That's where I'm at.
And I agree with Michael Dillon here, what he says about Longstaff as well. The price does feel a little bit high for only 1 year left on his contract, and it's obviously is Newcastle trying to squeeze PSR out of it as well. But for 1 year left on his deal, if you're talking 15 million, you know, for a player, like it does seem a little bit high, doesn't it? So it's a very, very interesting one with Longstaff. Obviously, we're going to have to see the way it rumbles on into next week, what way we're going to go with it. I just want to pull up a comment here. Where did I see it? Yeah, here from Jamie. He says, why have they yet to put a bid in for Stach? It's rumoured that he's our main target, and that's what I do want to speak about as well, because the Stach one again is one, Dylan, that's constantly being out there every day. There's been rumours about it. We got a little bit on it today, saying that Leeds have inquired about it. Leeds have been given a price, but no bid has been made yet for Stach. It's a bit of a weird one again with Stach, because obviously we're making the bids for Longstaff. We haven't made one for Stach, who looks like he's going to be, you know, our kind of main target as well. Like, why do you think Leeds haven't made that bid? It's obviously meant to be in the region of about 20 million for him, but again, it's another bit of a head scratch, this one.
It could be to do with the homegrown talent. As Jam stated, there could be something to do with that. Maybe they want to get Longstaff, I was going to say Longstaff into the squad as quick as possible to then, you know, start looking at these type of players like Stach, etc. But my main concern right now, lads, is put all these players signings aside, a goalkeeper is needed. That's the one thing. Obviously, I know I'm going off track here, but that's really where I'm at here. It's
gone quiet on the goalkeeper front again.
It's gone very quiet, and I don't like it. I really don't like it, because if Melier is a net next season, lads, the bit of hair that I have left, to be nothing left.
Cricky says, evening bros, little concerned our big signings are going to be the likes of Solomon, a bit meh. They'll milk winning the title and try and pass it off as a statement. I'm not too sure about Solomon, mate. I've kind of made me peace with that one, Dylan. We spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. I think that kind of ship has sailed with Leeds. Obviously, he's gone back to Spurs. He's already came out and said that he wants to stay at Spurs and fight for his place. Now, whether Spurs make signings and that pushes him down the pecking order, obviously he has got a chance there, because obviously Thomas Frank, the new manager, is coming in there. So it's an interesting one as well with Solomon. But for me, Dylan, I can't see him coming back to Leeds now at this stage. Can you?
No. I think I've seen on his Instagram as well. He's having a great time away, wherever he is. But like, lads, you never know. Money speaks a lot of words. A lot. And, you know, as you said, with Thomas Frank coming in, he might not be part of his plans. But at the same time, he had a phenomenal season with Leeds, scoring a winning goal, as we've all seen. And that could, you know, change a lot, or turn a lot of heads, for him to play with Tottenham next season. So, I don't know, lads, at the end of the day. It could be... I think he has came out, hasn't he, to be fair, Solomon, and said that he wants to fight for his place with Spurs, which, at the end of the day, lads, I can't really fault him for that, because he's came, you know, could have went the other way. He came here and he proved everyone wrong, you know, with the back injury, me included. We've all kind of put his weight gain. He didn't look slim Jim, you know. So to come out of that, and you know yourself, Darren, we've all been there. Back injuries, they're a serious thing, and to come out and do what he done and play week in, week out, you know, you have to give him 10 out of 10 for it, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So, see what happens.
See what happens with that one. Michael Pollard says here, spot on Dillo, I don't think the squad is complete yet. Some key positions still needed, and Farke has no room for a slow start this season. He really doesn't, Dylan, and this is where this window is very important for Leeds United as a club and for Daniel Farke as our manager as well, because we've spoke about Daniel Farke's track record as a manager. Notoriously, he always has slow starts. When he's been at Norwich, he's been at Leeds, we've never really hit the ground running. And that's the worrying part, Dylan, isn't it? Is that if Leeds don't start this season, you know, particularly well, or even in the right manner, you know, that could result in Daniel Farke losing his job as well. So ultimately, the signings need to come in. He needs to get them bedded into the squad and get them ready to go. But where we're at the minute with the 4 signings, it needs to be more, Dylan. There's still plenty to do, isn't there?
There's plenty more to do. Look, me and you said this last season, you know, before we knew that Leeds were going up on a few lives and watch-alongs and etc. And you used the word, the key phrase of the 49ers are going to keep him tight on the leash, right? And 110%, and I get where you're coming from with that. But it's up to the 49ers now, obviously Farke as well, to get these players in the door, number one, because if the 49ers let us down and Farke doesn't do well in the first 10 games, and just God forbid if they did sack him, well then who are we pointing the finger at? And we don't want that to happen, lads. So I don't like talking about all that sort of stuff, but I mean, who's the first one to get the finger pointed at them? Because it can't be Farke.
Yeah.
If the 49ers didn't, not necessarily back him, but
give him the tools, yeah.
You know, as you said, spend every last penny to get the squad right for the Premier League. As it seems at the minute, we're not there yet. We're not even halfway there yet. So I completely back the 49ers, or I back Farke. But it's up to the 49ers and just business, and now's the time to do it. But you know yourself, Bamford will be playing. Yeah, he probably will, to be fair, Danny.
He's not going anywhere. As I said, look,
I
think, obviously, Dylan, we're just Leeds fans as well, and it can get frustrating, the kind of lack of it as well, especially when you look, like I'll throw up, obviously, our incomings here. When you look at it, obviously, Lucas Nemecha on a free from Wolfsburg, look at that, looks like a good kind of squad sign and a good option, but we were promised when he came in that Leeds were still looking at a number 9 striker as the high profile main target. Yacobiol, I think, is a very decent signing for 18 million. We've seen his stats, we've seen his stature. Borneo as well has been brought in to kind of rival Joe Rodon in that right centre half position for 6 million. I think that's a decent deal as well. And Gabriel Goodmunson as well has obviously been brought in to cover that left back position that was vacated from Junior Firpo as well. So where we have signed and what we have done, Dylan, like I think at the moment is good, but it just needs to be a little bit more. Feels like we've slowed up a little bit compared to the work that still has to be done. Like you said, goalkeeper position, you probably need someone covering that right back position as well. Look, we've seen Sam Boyram sign a contract, but are you going to rely on Sam Boyram if something does happen to Jayden Vogel, first game of the season, suspensions, whatever it may be? Are you going to rely on Sam Boyram playing right back in the Premier League? Like, I wouldn't be too sure of that, as much as I love Sam Boyram as a player. Definitely need another centre midfielder, another winger, a 10, or maybe box-to-box 8, and a striker as well. There's still plenty of work to be done, and then going the other way as well.
Well, like you said to me, I don't know, sorry, someone said in the comments, I think it was probably the last video or the video before that, and they were basically saying, there's a lot of players that still to leave. So are they getting rid of the dead wood? I think it was you actually, Darren, to wait to bring these players in, and then buy, your defensive line, your midfielders, etc., Not on the cheap, but cheaper than what we'd be paying for a striker or a 10. We can't be waiting around.
Yeah.
You know, the season's over. Pre-season's just about to begin. We need to get everything up to scratch. But my main priority right now is a goalkeeper. Because I don't want to see Meslier in that in the next season.
Yeah.
I know we have to back him if he is, but good luck.
Yeah, I think the keeper position, Dylan, we need to get it done. And I've said it from the start. I don't think Leeds go and get a goalkeeper until Meslier goes the other way, until the club knows the position of Meslier. We don't want to repeat what happened the last time when Meslier was going. We bring Carl Darlow in, and then Meslier, has a change of heart and then decides to stay. So I think the club are going to be very wary of that. Daniel Farke's going to be very wary of that. It's best for both parties. We've had this conversation. I'm sure everyone in the chat agrees with well. It's probably best that we cut ties with Meslier and get a goalkeeper in. It's just at the minute, it's very loose. We obviously seen last week it was Lucas Perry was in there. Milinkovic-Savic was in there as well. I don't think we're going to get Savic. I think he's going to stay over in Europe. But again, it's gone very quiet in the goalkeeper front.
Darren, back in January when we were talking about, we're obviously looking for a 10 to come in. Farke expressed in his press conferences that he was looking at a 10 and wherever it was, Hamer popped up, all these links popped up the same as what it is now. And then it didn't get done. And then everyone was kind of saying, right, are we waiting for the Premier League? Well, we're here now.
Yeah.
So, at the time, I was really highly annoyed that we didn't go and get a 10 when we needed it. We could see that the squad was jaded, and it needed to freshen up, And to be fair, and Tony DiRigo said this to us as well, Darren, Aronson was just running around like a hellish chicken. He was wrecked. He was wrecked. And we had no replacement. So if the 49ers were kind of like, we're going to take a chance on it, and it worked, and 10 out of 10 for it work. But now you need to back it up now. Now you need to go get a 10. We need a 10. And I'm not saying they're not going to get one, but you haven't really seen any links like that. That kind of way. That's what's annoying me. And same as I said about a goalkeeper. It's going to be dead in the water. But at the end of the day, I still backed them.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah. You have to. 100%. Tez UK is in the building. It's a big up, Tez. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Over 70 is in the chat, guys. Make sure you're slapping a like on the video, guys, to help us out. Thanks very much. Really do. Appreciate it. Paul says, you're a boat legend. Thanks very much, Paul. Appreciate that, Paul. Any other good comments we can pull up? Do you know what? I'll tell you what. We'll move on, Dylan, to a very loose link. And again, it's one of them that seems to be every couple of weeks it rumbled on. It's Kalvin Phillips again, and as always, guys, make sure you're getting your comments in on this one again. So it was obviously it was Leeds Live, I think, that had it out again today, that obviously Man City have given Kalvin Phillips the green light to be moved on. It's very lazy. It's a very lazy link, this one. Take it with a pinch of salt. But again, he's been linked with a move back to Leeds United, as you can see there. 29 years of age, and he's pushing 30 now. Hasn't played a lot of football over the last 2 years. Didn't go great for him at Ipswich. Not a great spell at West Ham. Probably a disaster down there. And obviously his move from Man City hasn't been great. His market value has dropped massively, down to around 14 million as well. It's one of them, Dylan, when you take the sentiment out of it. It doesn't make sense. Achilles injury as well, so he's going to be out until the end of August. No pre-season. Where are we at with this KP one? Especially when we're looking at the likes of Sean Longstaff. If some people are saying we want Sean Longstaff, do people just say, well, let's go back and get Kalvin Phillips, the Leeds lad?
Well, no, I don't agree with that, because I've said this before and it could come back to bite me, but every player that has played under Marcelo Bielsa, apart from Stroke, to be fair, has had their best years as a professional footballer.
And Stroke does still have his injuries, Dylan.
It does, exactly. And, I think, what's that podcast? Bamford done a podcast anyway, and he was just saying about, the injuries and etc.
Oh, the one with Ben, the Fozcast with Ben Foster.
Yeah, Fozcast, that's the one, yeah. And every single player that has been in that kind of Bielsa era, no disrespect to any of them, where have they gone and what have they done? Do you know that kind of way? They've been injuries, a few lads retired, obviously, because they were coming of great age, but I mean, Phillips, I think, would just Bielsa formed him into something that he wasn't, if that makes sense. And he was just, as everyone calls him, the Yorkshire Pirlo. But going back, no. For character to a certain degree, after we get everyone in the door, similar to the Boyram situation, around the dressing room. But he obviously wants to go and play football, and I can't see him getting into this team. Not over Ampadu, not over Tanaka, definitely not.
Yeah.
So, like, where are you going to fit him in? Why are we... It's hard because I love Kalvin Phillips. Like, over there, I have a big shrine of him. Absolutely love him. But
Do you feel, Dylan, like what he done? Like, obviously his career's taken a massive dip since he's left Leeds, and is the fear now that, you know, if he returns back to Leeds, like he's obviously still kept on a pedestal by Leeds fans for like what he done, the way he played was no one can ever take that away from us, and he left in a good manner. As much as we all didn't want him to leave, he was going to Man City. Do you know what I mean? At the time, biggest club in the world, winning everything, you know, trebles and all that. So you can understand why he was leaving. But does it come to the stage now if Kalvin Phillips is brought back to Leeds and he isn't that player like what he was, like, that will somehow tarnish his reputation then at Leeds, and then you kind of forget the good times, you know, what we had previously with Kalvin Phillips, and would he still be on that pedestal, you know, like before?
110%. Like, I think it's similar last season. Oh, sorry, the season just gone with Bamford. Like, every week I was complaining about him. Every week. And I know he was injured, lads, but the money that he was on and he's sitting on the bench, it was very frustrating. You know, that this quality player at one stage, and I know you can't control injuries, I get that. But then he's going on podcasts and, you know, basically talking about good times, bad times, and etc. And I'm kind of saying to myself, man, you should be out training and getting yourself fit instead of sitting here talking. You know, look, maybe that's just me, but I think it comes a point in as a Leeds fan, or maybe in any footballer's career, that you can't go back.
Yeah.
For what? Like, what are we going back for? We have to see the future. Not
if he was still if you had a decent season at Ipswich last season, you know, and you know, didn't quite work out, they didn't want him, and you looked at him, he was like in the Premier League, he's after kind of rediscovering that form that he have, you might be half looking at him, but, you know, 2 failed loan spells, 1 down at West Ham, 1 at Ipswich as well, like, it doesn't look great, and it's a bit of a gamble now, Dylan, for Leeds, isn't it? Because ultimately where we're at as a club, you know, our future depends on it. We need to consolidate in the Premier League next season. We need this window to be a 9.5 out of 10, and a little bit of luck with it in the Premier League for chance of survival next season. So with the Kalvin Phillips one, where he's at, his injury with his Achilles, not back to the end of August, it feels like a bit of a blow in the wind, and doesn't it? A bit of a chance that Leeds United don't necessarily need to take at this minute.
No, we can't be messing around when it comes to money, and especially big money. Market value there, see, you have 14 million. So might get me a little bit more cheaper. Now I get that, but at the end of the day, that could go towards, you know, as I said, similar to Tanaka, you know, that price range and that kind of quality. That's what I'm looking at, if I'm being honest with you. Because, look, at the end of the day, lads, if we get relegated, which is not going to happen, if we get relegated, then it's going back down all that shit show of, you know, release clauses and, you know, all this sort of stuff. And it's just something that we don't want to even be thinking about.
Yeah.
I think spend the money in the right direction.
I just want to pull up this question, Dylan, from Michael. He said, ask this question a million times, so I'll ask it again. Need a quality goalkeeper and a 9. If we only get one of these, are you happy with what we've already have? No. I'd say no, Michael. I'd say no, and I think even if we got a goalkeeper and a 9, I wouldn't be happy with what we have. I'm fairly happy in the defensive side of it. I do think we need one either side, probably a better version of Byram to cover left back, right back, if that's possible to get someone like that. We definitely need another midfielder in there, 100% for me. We definitely need another winger to replace Solomon of real quality in there, and a number 10, Dylan, or that box-to-box 8, that player that can fill that position. So you're still talking outside of the goalkeeper and the 9, like, I think then a minimum 3. So
I think
it's
still
5,
talking
Dylan.
about wingers. Yeah,
still 5, like.
I'm probably 5, maybe, but like even down to the wingers. Ramzani, you know, that ceiling is so high. He's still a very young player. Willian Anto, we've seen what he can do and what he can't do. He's still a young player. You know, you haven't got Solomon there, so are we going to replace him? Dan James, I think, will do it in the Premier League this time. I think he's ready. I think this is going to be, within the next 3 seasons, probably his best football we'll ever see him play, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, like, there's still young players in this team. We still need that experience, that quality. Not saying the boys don't have it, they do, but it's the youngness that's getting me.
Sean Healy's probably the only one who has a bit of a counterpoint here on Kalvin Phillips. He says, KP, I am torn on him. If Farke can get him back fit, like he's done with Byron, Bamford, Solomon, you never know. And again, Dylan, that is probably the what if. That is the counterpoint from Sean here, that if Farke can get him even back to half the Kalvin Phillips that we seen at Leeds and the way that he played, he would be an asset. But it's that question again, Dylan. It's the what if it doesn't work.
Well, like, truthfully, and I'll ask Sean this question as well. Can you see Phillips getting ahead of Tanaka and Badu, Gruev? Yeah, you have to look at it like that, lads. Like,
Yeah.
I think the only thing I'd bring Kalvin Phillips for, if I'm being honest with you, is like a Byram situation. Maybe a bit more playing time that Byram will get, but I mean, it's just going to have around the dressing room to explain and to be there to each individual for a shoulder to cry on. I know that sounds really harsh, but it's the truth. Similar to Joshua Gilavogi. Look what he's done with Willie Nanto. I think Willie Nanto really came out of his shell an awful lot after Gilavogi. He was a bit down in the dumps, obviously, from the previous season when Somerville left. So it's kind of, I don't know, because I do love KP and I don't want to be putting him down. So it's kind of a...
It's catch-22 with him, isn't it?
Yeah, because it hurt me when he left.
Obviously,
it really
look,
did.
it would be the fairy tale story when you look at it on the positive side of it. If he does come back to Leeds, of course, we're going to back him. The question mark will be there if it works out and we can get half of that player back. You know, we're all kind of saying brilliant. We're delighted to kind of have him back. But then the other side of it, then if it does go wrong, then it's a massive blow in the wind then from the 49ers. And, you know, where does that leave Leeds then if Kalvin Phillips is back on the treatment table or isn't quite doing it, tarnishes his reputation, puts Leeds at risk of going down. So
and then there's, say 12 million we paid for him, that's 12 million down the drain. Let's be honest, lads, and we can't be afford to make any mistakes. Mistakes or errors here, let's be honest. At the end of the day, come the first day from the Premier League, it's not messing about anymore. That's it.
Yeah.
What we have is what we have.
Michael says here, KP, I think the talk is being generated by his agent and Man City side to generate interest. 49ers won't take the bait, and I think I agree with that. And we've seen, obviously, towards the tail end of the season when Patrick Bamford went out with the Kaiser Chiefs, obviously, seeing I predict the Roya. He was there with obviously Phillips and Aylan, so he's back palling around the Leeds lads as well. You'd better believe it that he's in their ear saying, I want to come back to Leeds, you know, have a word in the manager's ears. All this sort of stuff happens as well, but that's on the head there, Michael. It's going to be constantly dropped, and Shane said it as well. It's lazy journalism as well, Dylan, isn't it? It's a very lazy link, you know, when it's quiet like this, there's nothing going on. Kalvin Phillips is the one that you can just pull up. It used to be like the way Ryan Kent was when there was nothing going on about Leeds. Ryan Kent was just thrown back into the works again, wasn't it? So I think Kalvin Phillips were always going to be linked to them. Probably the same with James Milner. It seemed like every summer we were linked with James Milner. So again, we'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, I just don't see it happening, unfortunately. Jamie says here, 15 million for Longstaff. I'd have over Kalvin Phillips. Yeah, I think at the minute, Dylan, you'd probably have to agree with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%. I take Longstaff over Phillips. It kind of hurts me to say that, but yeah, I would 100% because I think you get a bit more out of Longstaff. Just KP. Yeah, I kind of want to remember him for the good times, not to come back and, as you said, tarnish his history. Yeah. And then, you know, at the end of the day, come next season, touch wood, the meltdown happens, we get relegated. Who's going to jump ship and who's not going to jump ship?
Mark has a good one here as well, Dylan. He says, lads, in your opinion, when the window opened, how many were needed? Squad and starters, a lot. We went through the spine. We said goalkeeper, centre half, centre mid 10, striker that's 5, another winger 6, full back 7.
I think I said 8.
You're probably talking 8 to 10.
I think I said 8. If not, I think the spine of the team definitely from the goalkeeper up through, but then you're talking the other way, outgoings. I think because of PSR etc. And I think a few needed to go. Look, it's still an early window, lads. Very early. But yeah, I would have said 8. Look, I'm gonna probably be greedy. I'd say 10. That's me being greedy, but yeah, definitely I wouldn't take any less than 8. Yeah, 100%. I'm about 4 in the door, so another 4 to go.
Shane Kavanagh just going back to Sean Longstaff says Longstaff move on 4 bids for an average player next. That's, to be honest, that's probably where I'm at, dealing a little bit.
I think it's the 4 bids. It's the 4 bids that's kind of rattling me. You know,
because if you're going back in after the second one, they've rejected the second one. Right, your third one, you're going in, you're speaking to them, going, what do you want? Realistically, what's your figure? Right now, you name your price. We'll tell you if we can meet it. If we can't, let's walk away from this deal now. We went back in with the third, and now they've rejected it again. So it's a little bit like they're messing Leeds around a little bit, and we don't want to be taken for fools. And it was obviously brought up as well. We're kind of showing our hand as well to other clubs is that, if Leeds come in with an initial bid, we'll reject it again, and they'll come back in with a 4th bid, and we can kind of get more out of the deal. So yeah, I think I'm getting to that stage with the Longstaff one as well. It's more of it for me. I think walk away. So yeah, again, we'll see kind of what way it goes. DV4 LUFC says evening buddy, thanks for popping in. Jamie says winger, striker, goalkeeper, left back, centre mid 10, And if we are to play with a 10, yeah, so a 10 or a kind of box to box 8, that kind of attacking midfield and a bit of creativity is definitely something this Leeds team is crying out for, Dylan. So I think probably the very, very minimum at the minute is 5 very good signings, but you could probably push that out to probably 7 still, isn't it? And then don't forget, lads, we've seen very little go out the other way as well. There's still outgoings happening in this team as well. That's what it is, Dylan? That Farke's looking at this team in pre-season, seeing who he wants to move on, and then maybe pushing the boat with the likes of the Stach if a bid hasn't gone in?
Quite possibly, but like I think regardless, I think the players themselves know where they want to be and know if they're gonna get a chance at this team. But it's not hard to look at. I think we all know who needs to move on and who doesn't. I'm not going to name any names. 1 for sure, Melier, and 2, I don't want Harrison near this club, but it's looking like that he's going to stay.
Marching on with Sean says, I wouldn't be annoyed if we didn't get another striker. Pirro will score loads of goals. I've backed him to score 15 goals. You'd hope, Sean. You'd hope. Obviously, look at the minute, there's no evidence to back it up because we haven't seen him in the Premier League. You'd hope that is going to be the case. But my kind of counter to that isn't about Pirro being able to score goals and can Pirro do it. It's more or less what happens if Pirro isn't on it. What happens if Pirro gets injured? Are we going to rely on Patrick Bamford again to come in and do the work in the Premier League? Are we going to rely on Mateo Joseph? And I don't think we can kind of flip-flop on what the 49ers have told us. It's been obviously dropped by the YEP, Baron Cross as well, that Leeds are still in for a number 9. They are looking at another striker as well. And I don't think that goes away now, Dylan, doesn't it? We still need that goal scorer.
100%. They've said it. They've came out and said it. Sure, he's not going to be our established striker. Like our marquee signing. So there's still to come. Like, look, it mightn't happen at all, and we'll be all going, why did you tell us that? But they haven't lied to us yet, lads. I think the main thing behind is the reason why I'm back in the 49ers. They've came in, they've given the trust to Farke. Farke got us up. They've announced this stadium development. They've increased the revenue. We have proper sponsorship deals with Adidas, you've Red Bull. There's a lot of stuff going on in the club, and it's going the right direction. And I think that's the main thing at hand here. Now we need to get it right on the pitch. That's where we're at right now. And I think there's more signings to come, as I've said. I think there's probably a few more underwhelming signings to come, but the players in the door. And I think that's maybe where we're at. But I think you said there with Farke, is he looking at the players for pre-season, who he's going to stay and who's going to go? That's definitely a possibility. And I think maybe he's given the time from the 49ers to, kind of get a move on sort of thing. We need to get signings in and we need to get players gone for, obviously, PSR reasons. So that could be...
Yeah, Jam says here, still think we need 6 or 7, to be honest, lads, and about that as well. And I think probably that's where the frustration comes from the Leeds fans, isn't it? Is that when you look at the work that we still have to do, like this squad still needs massive surgery. It's obviously fast approaching. They're back in pre-season now. We've all seen the videos of the lads back. And that's probably where the unsettlement comes a little bit, Dylan, isn't it, for the fans, is that we're looking at the work that we still have to be done to this squad. Potential outgoings as well. It's a lot, isn't it? And the time is ticking.
Time is ticking very fast. And, someone did say there in the comment there, kind of at the start of the video, it's going to be a quiet week. I think it was actually Andrew that said it. But yeah, quite possibly. And if it is, then I'll be starting to... Look, I'm not going to panic anywhere yet. I've said it from the start. I want players in the door as quick as possible for pre-season to get them up to scratch, etc. And it's not going to... As it stands, it's not going in the right direction, time frame wise. So, but I still back them. You have to back them, lads.
Danny Talks Leeds said we wouldn't spend over 20 million on players, and you did say that right at the very, very start, Danny. In fairness, you did, and yeah, at the moment it's been proved right. Shane Kavanagh says, have a sneaky feeling Harrison is the Solomon replacement, and I think there's still the conversation there. There was, after one of our videos, with a couple of comments saying, why are we still kind of wasting our breath on Jack Harrison? And I think it obviously is a massive topic of conversation, and it's a conversation there to be have about him again. We've seen him back in Leeds training this week, back in the Leeds gear, doing the bleep test. What Shane says here, like, surely are the club banking on Jack Harrison being the Solomon replacement?
I surely hope not. I really hope not. I'd be very annoyed at that one. I'm actually getting a bit heated even thinking about it. That's one I don't want to go down that direction at all. You know, I always said if he did have to stay, I don't agree with it. But Aronson done it, and he made immense. Nanto to a certain degree, Vobert, whatever. You know, there's other players here that have done similar traits, if that's what you want to say, and you know, we've not necessarily opened up our arms, but we've given them the recognition that they deserve with goals or just contributing in general. But Harrison, for me, I don't want him any near the club, and especially if he's on, I think Danny said, a 90 grand. Now he'd be more or less our top highest rated player. So if he is, well then he should be banging in goals left, right and centre every week. He should be our top. He should be making assists. He should be the best player on that pitch week in, week out, and that's the only way that I'll forgive him. And if he's not starting, then it like, not just for me, I think it'd be a meltdown from the Leeds fans. I don't blame anyone.
Yeah,
we're not a charity.
Jam says it's not panic from at all from me. It's frustration. Just want the bodies in the door so that they can gel with the lads and get the fitness where it needs to be. And that's fair. That's probably exactly where the frustration comes from, isn't it? And again, it's probably not false, but obviously we know that Daniel Farke said that he wants the bulk of his team in before the 8th of July, before the lads were back in proper pre-season. We've obviously only got 4 in. We know we need a lot more. So that's probably again where there was kind of a time frame put on how many players Leeds United need to sign by X date. We've obviously gone past that now. It certainly isn't enough. So again, that kind of contributes to the frustration from the Leeds fans. But we said, Dylan, at the start of this week on Monday nights live, we always go live at 8:30 on a Monday, 8:30 on a Friday. But Monday night's live show, we spoke about, Dylan, about this week being a big week for Leeds. We were speaking about hopefully it's 2 or 3 this week, but it went very, very quiet. Obviously, we got the good news about Gudmundsson, we got the good news about Byram, and then it just completely died, didn't it?
Died, 100%. You know, back to what Andrew said, it's going to be a quiet week by the looks of it. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. 110%. I don't know. You know, as it stands, with it week in, week out, and as the time is just taking on, it's just we kind of started here and we're kind of just declining rapidly. You know, with the Harrison situation, as we've said, the fourth bid gone for Longstaff, it's just gone all very negative. That we don't need, because we don't need all this. We just need to get the job done. Seems very hard to be done at the minute.
Yeah. Stephen Bourne says the biggest problem for all newly promoted teams is that there isn't enough time to turn around the squad. A squad to be capable of competing in the Prem. And it is that, Dylan, isn't it? And obviously we know the restraints that Leeds are under. We spoke about it with Andy Cousins. Tony DeRigo said it as well. They're obviously working inside the club. Dave mentioned it, that Leeds are working under a little bit of financial constraints. And it is about, look, we want smart signings. We haven't got the capability to go out there, you know, drop 30, 40, 50 million, you know, on a striker, on a number 10. We know that. But we know this Leeds team, or this Leeds recruitment team, we know what they've done in Tanaka before. So there is players out there that, you know, we can bring in, you know, for low wages that can have the impact in the Premier League. And it's just a lack of them at the minute. Like 4 at this stage. You were hoping we would have been around, 7, 8 mark at this stage.
Sorry, excuse me. This month is going to go by so fast, especially when football comes back. You know, pre-season, you know yourself, pre-season is your bread and butter. It makes up for everything and shows what's the strengths and what's the weaknesses for the manager, for the club, and obviously for the fans to notice a lot of things as well. So, I don't know, lads, you're kind of all really making me panic here. My anxiety is through the roof. I'm not going to lie. Honestly, I'm thinking the worst case scenario. I'm thinking straight through to the future where I'm on my hands and knees crying like a little girl because the 49ers and Farke let me down. So can we talk about something positive for a change?
Let's talk about something positive, actually. Yeah, we will. We'll speak about something positive. So, guys, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but myself and Dylan set up an Only Leeds Bros WhatsApp group. So basically what this group entails is basically You've heard us saying it before. Myself and Dylan are very big on building a community and building an Only Leeds Bros and Leeds community. So we've decided to set up an Only Leeds Bros WhatsApp group. So it's not just Only Leeds Bros stuff in there. It's a group of Leeds fans. I think there's about 20 in there so far. So they're all sharing things about latest transfer news, chatting Leeds, kits. Really, really nice group. Really nice feel. You're able to go in there, drop your opinion. And people obviously agree and disagree in a very good manner. So if you are interested in joining the Only Leeds Bros WhatsApp group, do feel free to scan the QR code and join in. You'll get a very warm welcome from the guys as well. Again, we will keep you up to date on anything that is going on Only Leeds Bros. We'll drop our links and stuff like that in there, but it isn't solely just about Only Leeds Bros, Dylan. So yeah, hope you do enjoy that. Something again like a little bit different that we're trying to bring you guys, and something what we're trying to do is build a community as well, Dylan, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. A bit of crack as well. Let's be honest. That's what it's all about. And getting to know everyone, and their opinion matters as well. As much. Like at the end of the day, we're fans as well, me and Darren. So we like to hear other people's opinions as well. And plus, on the good side of it is when we get a bit of detail or a bit of in-depth news or rumours, we'll bring it straight to you. You'll be the first to know.
Yeah. Michael says here as well, big issue in the Prem rule, as Jared explained, promoted clubs are not allowed to spend as much as the top six, and that's obviously why that gap gets bigger, Michael. That's obviously why the last 3 years the 3 promoted teams that have gone up have gone straight back down, and you think the FA and the Premier League will be looking at it and going, right, we need to give these teams a chance to stay in the Premier League. It should be the other way around there, Dylan, shouldn't it? It should be the promoted team should be allowed to spend a little bit more to try and catch up, to kind of be, give themselves a fighting chance in the Premier League rather, again, than creating that gap between the top six and the top half of the Premier League to the bottom three. So, yeah, for me, the rules are a little bit mad. So, yeah.
We don't really mind because we're going to smash them all up anyway.
Cheers, Mr. White Snakes. Appreciate that, buddy. Thanks very much.
Can't wait for January the 3rd. Can't wait.
It's going to be good. It's going to be very good. Right, lads, I think we leave it there. Again, don't forget, tomorrow morning, the Whites Wake Up is back at 10 o'clock for all your banter, crack, Leeds United and the Bros Boots Challenge. We have a very, very funny clip in there, so make sure you go check it out in the morning. You will not be disappointed. So we leave it there. Again, before you leave the video, please don't forget to slap with a like in the video. And if you're new here, hit subscribe to the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. So we leave it there. We'll chat to you all again soon. Mind yourselves and mind each other.